In my next part of the walkthrough, which is going to talk about the Magdred ambush battle.
No matter how.
Just skip past this introduction for now because we don't really need to cover that. There is something very important to note about this battle, and not the fact that it's going to be a unique story battle, in which case you're fighting against a significant story character, which is Lord Lonato, related to Ash of the Blue Lions. This is going to be the first battle where you deal with fog. And the reason why this is important is because you can't actually see your opponents right away, and you're going to have to plan slowly in order to make the most of it. Now, in this battle, you are going to be joined by allies, a little bit like Geralt in the beginning. This is going to be Catherine, who joins you at level 5 with her Sacred Relic, and 2 church soldiers. Make any pre-battle preparations you need to. And this means going into the armory and such and getting all your weapons ready, making sure everything is in order. And you are good to go.
With this fog, the enemy could be take down any. Proceed with.
Now the mission objective is to defeat the enemy commander. The enemy commander, however, won't be found right away because, well, you're going through fog. What you can do is do your best to cover your allies as best as you can. Now this is actually not terribly difficult, but it will involve staying close to your allies and progressing through the fog at your own rate. Now, I'm gonna be honest, my characters are actually pretty overpowered. They're about double the recommended level. But that really shouldn't change things too much because, again, as before, rushing blindly into battle, no matter how powerful you are, is a stupid idea. And it's also risky in fog because you have no idea what's coming.
You think we're just gonna do nothing while you...
As expected, well, militia just came in out of nowhere and you had no way to tell that they were coming. Now, that being said, I'm not expecting the militia to put up a big fight because, again, A, they're going to come at you in limited droves, because obviously the point of this isn't to provoke anybody. But still, that does mean, no matter the difficulty level, you're not trying to overextend yourself. Slowly make your way forward. Keep up with Catherine, that's a pretty good indicator of how well you'll be doing. Because if you're falling behind or you're ditching her too much, that's a sign that maybe you're straying too far from the battlefield. She'll almost always encounter somebody. Remember, this isn't about making stupid decisions, so be careful. Now, as before, this is one of the reasons why you don't want to overextend yourself. You actually don't know what's out there, and thus, it's really risky to start going in. Yes, Catherine's really strong, as you can see in this battle, but you really don't want to get into a point where you start relying on her to take care of the baddies. Because, well, A, it's really bad to rely on ally characters to begin with, but B, it's also really risky to overextend yourself and then get your butt handed to you because you couldn't see what was coming. This isn't a race, despite what the game might make it out to be. You can take your time. There will only be a limited amount of enemies. So don't rush into this thinking, oh, well, I've got to do something because, well, the game says I've got to take him out as soon as possible. Yes, but, again, this isn't about making stupid decisions.
I won't. Lord Lonato.
I'm sorry, but I don't believe...
Whoa. Now, if you kill a dark mage that provides the fog, shall we say, you'll get a cutscene. I'll skip the cutscene. This is something you want to see for yourself. The fog will lift, and you'll be able to see everybody. But that's not necessarily better news, because, well, you'll see how surrounded you really were in the first place. Although, as I mentioned earlier, as long as you weren't stupidly pushing forward aggressively, there really was nothing to fear in the first place. Now that you know where every enemy is, it's much easier to gain an idea of, okay, where are the possible strike zones, and start beating the crap out of your enemies. I don't care that you think half of my team is overpowered, that was a conscious move on my part. I am actually going to need to extend. Ferdinand should be alright. And just in case Ferdinand needs a little bit of... No, he'll be fine health-wise. Now, you'll still notice I'm not using any gambits right now. That's not because I don't believe in gambits, but rather there's just no need at this point to start using gambits. And it helps that my characters are so overpowered that I don't need to really make use of the battalions. But make no mistake, they do come in handy, especially if you've got no better alternative. So don't be afraid to use them if you're in a tough situation. I just don't need to right now. Now that Catherine knows where Lord Lonato is, she's going to rush straight to him. If you want to finish this battle fast, you'll accompany her, because she'll provide a very good way of cutting down some of the more powerful units. You'll notice that among Lonato's bodyguards is a armored knight. Now, armored knights have really bad resistance, but very powerful defense. which means taking them down with things other than magic is going to be rather tricky at this point in the game, even if you are overpowered with characters. The good news is that if you're playing as the Black Eagles, you will have at least 3 people who can cast magic. If not, you're going, as I said before, you're always going to have one person who knows. And on the absolute worst case scenario that you don't have someone who can do all of that, Catherine's going to be able to make short work of anyone who really gave you trouble in the first place. Now, just for experience's sake, I'm going to have Caspar take out all the fighters behind, and Bernadetta will take care of that last guy. Easy. You'll notice again that even though I'm more powerful than that Armored Knight with Ferdinand, an Iron Lance just isn't going to cut it for an Armored Knight, which is, again, why you really want to make sure that you've got at least one magic user, or have your magic user, whether you're Black Eagles, Blue Lions, or Golden Deer, make your way up. It's just not feasible to take them out with 0 damage attacks. But as I said, no matter which house you play, you're gonna have at least one magic person, so don't worry too much about not having a way to defeat an Armored Knight. Byleth will just be kicking butt because Byleth is dead.
Try to keep up.
Now notice your enemies will start using gambits against you if they have no better movement. That's just a way for them to preserve their own combat strength and not fight suicidal battles. This is one reason why gambits are useful as well. They prevent you from wasting a move against enemies that would probably not be... Well, they would make it so that your decisions are less suicidal. I'll have Dorothea with her magic take care of the Armored Knight. Easy. Just for good measure. Now, Lonato is going to be pretty tricky. He's not unbeatable per se, but he does have the Javelin, which means he gets an extra move, or not an extra move, but an extra hitbox, which means even if you're not next to him, he's gonna get one free shot at you, and that is very important to note if your characters are weak and you're just edging your way to him. He will have one ranged shot at you, and that is dangerous. Yup.
You have been deceived.
Yeah, and he doesn't hit for pitiful amounts of damage either. He's actually strong. Again, another reason why you want to make sure that your characters are...
You want to fight me?
Well, how shall I put it? Your characters aren't weak when they're right next to him. Fortunately, I'm going to take him down pretty easily. Just a few Iron Sword attacks. And I'm going to have Ferdinand take him down with Night Kneeler, which deals extra damage to cavalry, just to cover my butt.
That vile woman.
Now, no matter what happens, once you take down Lonato,
I never thought I'd see
battle is over.
this. Well done, everyone.
And that is basically the Magdred ambush in a nutshell. I hope you did enjoy the battle. Just one last note before we go. Lonato is on a heal tile, which gives him extra defense and resistance. So if you don't have highly leveled characters, you're probably going to have to swarm him. But otherwise, he's not too difficult to defeat. Catherine will eventually reach him to help give you a hand. And that's the Magdred ambush battle in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed watching. And if you like this video, please do subscribe. There'll be more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.